Yan Yan spoke frankly. From here to Luo City, all the passes, forts, and cities had originally been under his command, and the garrison troops were all under his control. Now, moved by Zhang Fei's mercy in sparing his life, he felt he had no way to repay the favor. He was willing only to serve personally as the vanguard. Wherever he went, he would appear in person and call out the former defenders, persuading them one by one to surrender. Zhang Fei was overjoyed and repeatedly thanked him. He immediately arranged for Yan Yan to lead the way, while he himself followed with the main army. As expected, along the entire march, every pass and stronghold formerly under Yan Yan's authority surrendered without resistance, opening their gates to welcome them. At times a few commanders hesitated. Yan Yan would say bluntly, "Even I, an old general, have surrendered. What are you still afraid of?" With those words, their resolve collapsed, and they all submitted. Thus Zhang Fei advanced all the way to the outskirts of Luo City without fighting a single battle, or shedding a single drop of blood. At the same time, Zhuge Liang had already reported the date of the campaign to Liu Bei, and arranged for all forces to converge at Luo City before advancing together on Chengdu. Liu Bei discussed military affairs with his officers while Zhang Ren continued to ride out daily to challenge them. Yet the city forces never came out to fight. Veteran General Huang Zhong perceived the situation and spoke up. He said that Zhang Ren, having fought repeatedly without success and seeing that their army refused to engage, must have grown complacent and lax in his defenses. Rather than forcing an attack by day, it would be better to divide their forces and strike the enemy camp at night, which would be easier to accomplish. Liu Bei agreed and immediately issued orders. Huang Zhong would take the left route, Wei Yan would take the right route, and Liu Bei himself would lead the center force straight at the enemy camp. At the second watch of the night, all three forces moved at once. Zhang Ren was indeed unprepared. When the Han forces burst into the camp, they immediately set it ablaze. Flames shot into the sky, and the enemy camp fell into chaos. The Shu troops scattered and fled, retreating overnight back into Luo City, whose gates were hastily opened to receive them. Liu Bei did not pursue them into the city. Instead, he encamped on the central approach. The next day, he advanced again to Luo City and began a formal siege. On the fourth day of the siege, Liu Bei redeployed his attack. He personally led a force to assault the west gate, while ordering Huang Zhong and Wei Yan to focus on the east gate. He deliberately left the south and north gates unencircled. The reason was that outside the south gate lay rugged mountain paths, unfavorable for a breakout by the defenders. The north gate faced the Fu River with complex terrain. By leaving it open for the time being, he hoped to lure the enemy into action. Zhang Ren observed from the city walls for a long time. Seeing Liu Bei directing operations at the west gate from morning until afternoon, with his troops gradually showing signs of fatigue, Zhang Ren decided to counterattack. He ordered Wu Lan and Lei Tong to lead troops out the north gate and circle around to the east gate to tie down Huang Zhong and Wei Yan. He himself would lead elite troops out the south gate and strike the west gate directly, aiming for Liu Bei. At dusk, Liu Bei saw that night was falling and ordered the rear troops to withdraw first. Unexpectedly, drums suddenly thundered within the city. Zhang Ren charged out from the south gate and rushed straight toward the center army. Liu Bei's forces were thrown into disorder, unable to support each other. Huang Zhong and Wei Yan were entangled by Wu Lan and Lei Tong, and could not come to the rescue. Liu Bei could not withstand Zhang Ren, and was forced to spur his horse and flee into the mountain paths. Zhang Ren pursued relentlessly with a few cavalry, nearly catching up to Liu Bei. As Liu Bei galloped desperately forward in mounting anxiety, a force suddenly appeared ahead on the mountain road. Believing himself trapped by ambushes in front and pursuit behind, Liu Bei sighed deeply on horseback. With ambushes ahead and pursuers behind, is heaven determined to destroy me? To his surprise, the leading general of the approaching force was Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei and Yan Yan were advancing along another mountain road. Seeing dust rising in the distance, they knew a battle was underway and immediately hastened forward. Zhang Fei charged at the front and met Zhang Ren head-on. The two immediately engaged in combat. After more than 10 bouts, Yan Yan also arrived with reinforcements. Seeing the situation turn against him, Zhang Ren withdrew and retreated back into the city, hastily raising the drawbridge and sealing the gates to defend. Zhang Fei returned to Liu Bei and laughed, saying that the strategist was still coming by water route, while he himself had already claimed the first merit. Liu Bei asked about what had happened along the way, and Zhang Fei recounted in detail how he had spared Yan Yan, and how the many passes had surrendered without a fight. Liu Bei was delighted. He personally removed his golden chain armor and presented it to Yan Yan, thanking him repeatedly. Just as he was about to hold a celebratory banquet, another urgent report arrived. Scouts reported that while Huang Zhong and Wei Yan were fiercely fighting Wu Lan and Lei Tong outside the east gate, Wu Yi and Lu Gui led troops out from the city, attacking from behind. Caught between two forces, the Han troops could not hold and were forced to retreat eastward. Upon hearing this, Zhang Fei immediately requested permission to fight. Liu Bei then divided the troops into two routes. Zhang Fei went left, while he himself went right, and they rushed swiftly to the battlefield. When Wu Yi and Lu Gui heard shouting from behind, they mistakenly thought reinforcements had arrived and hurriedly retreated back into the city. Wu Lan and Lei Tong, however, continued pursuing Huang Zhong and Wei Yan, only to find their route of retreat cut off by Liu Bei and Zhang Fei. Huang Zhong and Wei Yan then turned back to attack. Surrounded on both sides, Wu Lan and Lei Tong could no longer fight and led their men to surrender. Liu Bei accepted their surrender, withdrew his troops, and encamped beneath the city walls. Zhang Ren, having lost 2 generals in succession, was filled with fear. He secretly discussed a desperate plan with Wu Yi and Lu Gui. On the one hand, they urgently sent messengers to Chengdu. On the other, they set a trap to lure the enemy. The next day, Zhang Ren led troops out to challenge the enemy. After a brief clash with Zhang Fei, he feigned defeat and lured Zhang Fei into pursuit. Zhang Fei fell for the ruse. Wu Yi cut off his retreat, and Zhang Ren returned with his troops to encircle him, leaving Zhang Fei trapped with no way forward or back. At the critical moment, a force suddenly emerged from the riverbank. The leading general was Zhao Yun. With a single engagement, Zhao Yun captured Wu Yi alive and rescued Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei and Zhao Yun returned to camp, where Zhuge Liang, Jian Yong, and Jiang Wan were already present. After hearing the full account, Zhuge Liang praised Zhang Fei for his ability to win people's hearts, calling it a great blessing for Liu Bei. Kongming then personally laid out a grand plan, setting an ambush near Jinyan Bridge and luring the enemy deep inside. Zhang Ren indeed fell into the trap. With the bridge cut and his retreat blocked, he was finally captured alive by Zhang Fei on a mountain road. Liu Bei tried to persuade him to surrender, but Zhang Ren would rather die than yield. To preserve his reputation for loyalty, Zhuge Liang ordered his execution. Moved by his integrity, Liu Bei gave him a generous burial beside Jinyan Bridge. Luo City was soon persuaded to surrender, and Lu Sun fled to Chengdu. Liu Bei pacified the populace and richly rewarded the generals. Seeing that the situation was settled, Kongming arranged for the generals to pacify the commanderies and prefectures, preparing to press on toward Chengdu. Fa Zheng suggested sending letters to persuade Lu Zhang to surrender, first advancing along the path of benevolence and righteousness. Meanwhile, Ma Chao suffered repeated defeats in Xiliang. He sought refuge with Zhang Lu but was met with suspicion, eventually triggering a chain of rebellions. Cities across Xiliang turned against Ma Chao. Xiahou Yuan, acting on Cao Cao's orders, led troops to suppress him. Ma Chao's family was almost entirely executed, and he escaped with only a few cavalrymen to Hanzhong. Zhang Lu, tempted by advantage, prepared to send troops to aid Lu Zhang. The campaign in western Shu seemed close to conclusion, yet with the intervention of the Hanzhong forces, undercurrents rose again, and the struggle grew more complex. Summary: the key themes of this chapter are winning people through benevolence, defeating enemies through strategy, and a clash of loyalty and righteousness. Zhang Fei's merciful release of Yan led to the surrender of more than 40 passes without a fight, showing that winning hearts can surpass the use of weapons. Zhuge Liang's layered strategies captured Zhongrun and broke Luo City, yet still respected the enemy general's integrity and preserved his honorable name. With Luo City taken, Chengdu lay close at hand, but the movements of Ma Chao and Zhang Lu of Hanzhong transformed the Western Shu campaign from a single-front advance into a multi-sided struggle, setting the stage for a more complex and brutal conflict to come. Historical notes. 1. Yan Yan after being spared by Zhang Fei. Yan Yan was indeed captured by Zhang Fei and displayed steadfast loyalty. However, there is no historical record of him serving as Zhang Fei's vanguard or persuading dozens of passes to surrender. 2. The perfect ambush and precise chain of stratagems at Luo City. The battle for Luo City was a prolonged struggle over difficult terrain with chaotic conditions. The novel's depiction of flawless coordination is highly idealized and lacks historical documentation. 3. Zhang Ren's refusal to surrender and immediate execution. Zhang Ren did die in battle, but the exact circumstances of his death are not clearly recorded in historical sources. 4. The Ma Chao storyline of total family destruction and widespread massacres. In the records of the Three Kingdoms, Ma Chao was indeed defeated and his family suffered greatly, but the scale of massacres and the intense emotional portrayal in the novel are exaggerated beyond historical reality.